Okay, so this recording is gonna be like more of a kind of appreciation sort of thing, Skyrim related mod list, obviously. Now, I've been around like, Wabbajack a lot, downloading all sorts of like different mod lists, trying them out to see which one sticks. Like, perhaps what I was looking for more like a base for a mod list so I can, incorporate that and then add my own custom stuff into it, But it's just, I feel like a lot of mod lists just don't do it for me personally. I don't know. And honestly, the only one that's really comes close that kind of ticks all of those boxes, um, it's probably would be a Novus for me. It's one of those mod lists that actually is also hasn't got an update in quite a while, but it's just one of those mod lists that literally does everything in terms of like touching up the game, all areas. Like if you want to have a mod list, you want to have a mod list that touches up on everything, and Nulvus exactly does that. From a gameplay aspect to the visuals, immersion stuff as well. All of it, everything is touched up, and obviously the author himself said the vision is to create like it's not a 2011 game and kind of overhaul everything, and it's a phenomenal job at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, so when trying different, obviously with like the mod list from like the Babajack and whatnot, come to realize that yeah, it just is none that like stick it out as much as Nulvus where you want to stay, and incorporate your custom. Now, there's definitely some stuff that you can pick out, some like a couple mods that you like see like notice and be like, hey, this might not be my mod list, but this author did, incorporate some stuff that sticks out and you liked it, and we thought, okay, hang on a minute. What if I just keep searching for, my mod list, but incorporate those couple things, And that's what happened with, some mod lists in general, even if they were NSFW or safe for work, there was always some takeaways from them. Another thing is, it's like I've been struggling like a lot. Like I literally put like 170 plus hours into the game, and the only areas that I've touched in the game is Whiterun and Falkreath in terms of like big major cities, and that's basically it. I haven't beaten the game. Have no idea what I'm doing. I should have. I mean, I don't know how on average it takes to beat the game. Maybe like 100, but that's pretty pathetic. If you ask me, like so. And I think it's just some motivation thing. Like you feel like you during the playthrough or mid playthrough, you're playing the game, and you're like, I feel like something's missing. During you always think in your head something's missing, and you want to incorporate more stuff, and then start all over, to re-experience with those new mods, and it's just this never-ending cycle, and that's like one of the a beauty I realized with the Nexus mods and with two probably games in specific, which is Skyrim and Fallout 4, is that they are single-player games. They are single-player games, and yet they kind of act like these live service games. And why is it like that? Because of a modding community. Modding community always like is updating. We're always doing something. We always post something on Nexus mods, and it's like a single player game, but it's like a live service, which is very unique, very special, and it's just one of those, it just, how do you, defeat that? How do you beat that? So, the modding community, obviously really huge. Obviously it also has like, I don't know if you would call it the dark side or the darker side, but obviously, the Lover's Lab and whatnot, even though you can turn it very safe for work or super degenerate in a way of it. And funny thing, funny thing about that is that degenerate side, obviously, you don't want to like declare war on them or anything like that. Obviously, I don't want to badmouth. It's their thing. We can do what we want. It's none of our business. But it's a huge community. Like when you think about it, it's so huge to the point where it just has its own like we can even make porn out of it and probably make like a living. I would imagine. It's like, I mean, you do have obviously pornographic websites. That's kind of like YouTube, where you just obviously get ad revenue. You obviously play, and you can create some nifty stuff. I mean, obviously, Skyrim, it does work. I think some animation, it does look kind of robotic and not. I mean, obviously, but yeah, it still works in a sense, and it's a lot of perverted stuff. But each to their own, I guess. The thing is to realize is probably as to why someone would want to really push their computer specs or specifications to really like min-max, essentially. So basically like 3090s or 4090s. Always thought those types of computer setups, like very, very end game, is just not necessary, really. Unless you're like really doing like 4K gaming, like on normal games, because normal games, what the AAA you have, releasing, they're always going to have these standards to, polishing games for consoles as well, because we release, on all platforms. So you can have a mid-ranger and it will run just fine. But that's where where the mods come in and kind of just flesh it out, and why it becomes like so necessary to hand very fast, non-potato PCs in a way. So that's where I realized that stuff like VRAM matters a lot. Obviously the GPUs itself, the CPUs, the SSDs, so that all that writing speed and whatnot. So it's literally because of mods. It's because it's not PC exclusive. You can have them on console, but it's more so prominent on the PC stuff. So if you have very high end PC and you're using like have like these massive Modlists of over like 3,000, 2,000, or maybe even 4,000, RIP Vagabond. But yeah, that's where you can put your PC to potential essentially. So I can see where those sort of things come. Now they gave me like this aspect or perspective that it's maybe doing maybe some overwork related stuff. I don't know. And so probably go back to on all of us and just finish all of us at once. Is that all of us basically obviously check some on everything. And I don't know if I said that already. Like the gameplay aspect, the immersion, the visuals. I think I did say that. And so it ticks all of those boxes, and no other mod list really compares. And obviously it is in its 2000s mod range. Obviously some stuff is outdated, but I think you can just simply replace some stuff and update it yourself. I don't think that's a big deal. It's also ran like as its own downloader, which is the Novus dashboard, and its own website, which is really informative and very well written. I would say it's very professionally done. And obviously I just sound like a sucker, but it just essentially just, I'm not trying to suck someone off. I'm just being appreciative that there's the stuff, people out there that we give this stuff for us for free. Obviously maybe not necessarily for free, but still free. I mean, Nexus Premium, all that stuff, you can still manually download, but RIP your finger and whatnot, left clicking that stuff. But I just want to let it out, essentially that like how privileged we are to be in such a position where we have these modders and whatnot. Obviously, we do. People do get burnt out, and want to do something else. We move away, but there's always someone, feels like in their place coming in as well. And yeah, I'm not the greatest myself, but when it comes to money, I'm a bit of a newbie, but I feel like I don't know, I'm either gonna get a hang of it, the more time I spend on it, or yeah, it's just creating Modlist is hard. I mean, you have to really appreciate how we put up these big lists, and make it work. Because sure as hell, I could not do it. I have this super ADHD, where sorry, if I was to work on like a Modlist, I could not make like anything probably work. Let's say like if I was to start like on working on UI or the HUD, prioritizing, I'd be like, I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I could not focus on doing it. I'll be like drifting away, trying to do animations then, simultaneously as well as the UI, and it just it basically just gets distracting. And so maybe do, I mean, yeah, they do a very good job. Yay.